Hiya and welcome to the Teen Whisperer, the podcast for mums of girls who are often labelled as too much, too sensitive, too emotional and too different and just don't fit in. I'm Rach Friedley, fellow mum, coach and play specialist, and here's what I believe. Our girls definitely do not need fixing, and we don't need yet another list of strategies that make us feel like failures in our role as parents. The truth, behaviour is not a flaw. It's a signal from the body, and it's the body's way of asking for support without the words. This podcast is about listening, not controlling, connection, not correction, and giving you tools that actually work in the chaos of real everyday life or everyday real life. So if you're ready to stop second guessing, feel confident again and finally connect with your daughter at her level, you're in the right space. So keep listening.
If phones are the biggest tension point in your house, if every conversation about screens ends in withdrawal, silence or eye rolling, and if you've ever thought, if she'd just put it down, things would improve. Pause. I just want you to take a breath. So put one hand on your belly or both hands. Breathe into your hands and feel it rise as you breathe in through your nose and then breathe out through your mouth, feeling your hands lower. That's it. One breath. This episode is not about banning phones per se. And it's not about letting everything slide either. Too often we're told you have to go for full-on traditional parenting strategies of control, coercion and consequences, or you go for nothing. There's that massive gap in the middle, and this is what that episode is about, that massive gap. To say that actually it's about understanding what's happening in her nervous system and why screens become a lifeline when a girl is stuck in freeze. So welcome back to the Teen Whisperer, the podcast for mums of girls who look disengaged on the outside but are carrying far more than they can process on the inside. I'm Rach Friedley and my work starts with this reframe. When a girl shuts down, avoids or disappears into her phone, she's not being difficult, she is overwhelmed. And yes, I'm a mum too, so I 100% get where you're coming from. I know exactly how frightening it is to see your daughter so engrossed in her screen that they seem to take over. And connection with her feels so much harder to reach. So yeah, I'm with you. So let's clear this up. Phone detoxes don't fail because mums aren't consistent enough. They fail because freeze states don't respond to removal. When a girl is in freeze, her nervous system is not choosing comfort. It's seeking relief. Despite what you may see, you see your daughter in her bed 24/7. You see her in a darkened room with the curtains shut. You see her with her bed on, so the warm blanket on. You see her just cuddling up in there. Yeah, she's not choosing comfort. She is seeking relief. So when a phone screen, whatever you want to call it, is suddenly taken away, her body does not hear, this is healthy and this is good for you. It hears, I'm not safe. I've lost my way to cope. I've trapped with feelings I cannot manage. And the nervous system responds accordingly. It goes into deeper shutdown, increased withdrawal, secrecy, or emotional explosions later. This isn't about respect. This isn't about rules. It's about capacity. So phones do not cause freeze, they mask it. For girls in shutdown, screens numb that emotional overload, provide predictable stimulation, reduce that social risk of actually having a conversation with somebody, and offer connection without exposure. So when life feels too demanding, So whether that's school pressure, whether that's bullying, whether that's self-pressure, whether that's social comparison, whether that's illness, whether that's disease, whether that's injury, whether that's family breakdown, whether that's family divorce, whether that's bereavement, internal stress, the list goes on and on. The phone becomes a buffer between her and the world outside. So removing it without increasing safety does not build resilience. It removes her flotation tank. It removes her flotation device, and she sinks. So conversations about screens, why do they go nowhere? Even when you're gentle, even when you're calm, if she's already in freeze. Conversations about phones land us, I'm doing something wrong. Again, I'm a problem. I'm being watched. And that freeze deepens. That, yeah, whatever, mum, isn't dismissive despite what you're told, despite what you may think. It's her nervous system saying, I can't engage right now. And that is okay, because once you understand that, you can then work with her to help that nervous system feel safe again. So the real goal is definitely not control. You know me, I'm not about traditional parenting strategies. The goal is bringing her out of freeze. One teeny tiny step at a time, which means increasing her safety, her felt connection, her nervous system flexibility. Only then can capacity return. Behaviour follows state, not the other way round. As I say quite a lot, I have a body first framework. I talk about this throughout every podcast, throughout all of my work. It's about regulating the body before the brain can come back online and that calmness can come. So what actually helps? Do you know what? I'm so glad you asked. So here's the part mums find relieving. You do not need her insight, her motivation and her agreement. You just work around her nervous system. So number one, you lower the load in the environment. You have softer lighting, calmer evenings, less stimulation in shared spaces. Freeze responds to gentleness, not demands. Number two, regulate yourself first. Your steadiness is the strongest signal of safety she has. If you're dysregulated, guess what? She's going to be dysregulated. If you need some time for yourself, have some time for yourself. If you need to do some exercise and get out in nature, guess what? You need to have some exercise and get out in nature. This is what my mum and daughter walks are about. It's about regulating your nervous system and hers. A regulated parent helps thaw a frozen system. And this is why I say parenting is as much about you as it is about your daughter. You need to show her that regulation. You need to show her that you're calm on the inside as well as the outside. Because if you're feeling inside and you're trying to put a positive spin on it and be all kind of calm and wonderful and light and bright on the outside, your daughter can see through you so easily. So she'll just get mixed messages and be really, really confused. So yeah, a regulated parent helps thaw a frozen system. Number three, model rhythm without commentary. So movement, daylight, phone breaks for you. No lessons, no pressure. So movement, as I say, get in that time for yourself. Get in that exercise. Get out in daylight. Bring daylight into her room. Even if it's a tiny weeny crack of light into her room, it's still light that resets her circadian rhythm. Number four, gentle curiosity, then stop. One line, no fixing. How does your phone make you feel when you're on it 24/7? Then let it land. You don't need that last bit, I just added it. And here's something simple that works beautifully with girls in freeze. And yes, I did it yesterday with my own daughter. Bake something together. Ask her what it is she would like to bake. And you'll find there'll be a favourite recipe that she really, really wants to do. It may start with, I don't know. And then you go, well, I'll leave it with you. And then she'll go, oh, actually, there's something I want to make. You're not baking as an intervention. You're not baking as a let's talk moment. You're just having time together, side by side. So why baking works, your hands are busy, your eye contact is optional, but that rhythm of what you're doing is predictable, how you work in the kitchen together. And there's also that sensory regulation, the smell, the touch, the warmth. This creates safety. And safety invites conversation without pressure. You might talk, you might not, but both are wins because this is co-regulation without words, and she can see that she can be with you without pressure. So progress is not enthusiasm for freeze. It looks like slightly more presence, shorter shutdowns, fewer emotional crashes, and moments of neutrality. And neutral is a win, even though it might not feel like it. So phones aren't the problem per se, freeze is. And freeze doesn't melt through force or control. It softens through safety. So making the body safe first before you have the talk. So if this episode helped you reframe what you're seeing, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Leave me a review, because the more reviews I can get, the more the algorithms push this out to other mums just like you who need to hear this stuff. And if you're thinking, I need support holding this without pushing her further away, and I don't want to do it on my own, and there's nothing out there for me as a mum, this is what WTF is for. And before you ask, WTF actually means what's the feeling? But you know, we all have those WTF moments when bringing up our girls. WTF is a space for mums supporting girls in shutdown, where behaviour is understood through the nervous system, not judged. You are definitely not failing as a mum. You're parenting a child who's overwhelmed, and that is a difference. So if you like what you hear, check out my website, the 3 Ws, theteenwhisperer.co.uk, or if you'd like to connect, message me from directly within this podcast. Yes, it's a thing, and it's so easy. Or book yourself in for a connection call. All the details are in the show notes. So take care, and remember, you are doing way better than you think. So see you next week.